So I'm making this video. Mirror's not too amazing right now. I have to wash it, so whatever. Just, but, um, I haven't been making videos a lot. One, nobody's really paying attention. They used to have more viewers back in the day when YouTube was quieter. Um, and I've been busy. I work a full-time job. When I'm not working, I'm either sleeping a or just, catching up with friends, doing errands, taking my dad out to get out and, whatnot. Uh, so I've just been busy, but for some reason today I decided to look at my old videos. I don't know why. I just felt like it. Um, and it was interesting because when you don't make videos often and then you look back at a time in your life when you did, when I was in my mid-20s, I made a lot of videos. And it just made me, for some reason, the past couple of days I've been watching a lot of political YouTubers, news channels, yada yada. Found myself somehow getting into NPR. And I feel like I have a slightly different view of politics now than I did when I was younger, especially specifically looking back at my old videos. One such video was, I believe, either the day of the election or the day after the election, during Obama's first term. Oh goodness, I'm starting doing Obamaism. Now, I'm not saying he's terrible. He's not Bush Jr. Let's just say that, one, first and foremost. He's not Bush Jr. But did he meet my expectations? No, he hasn't. I mean, there's a lot of things that I was really expecting out of him. Healthcare reform, economy reform. Now, obviously, economy is something different. This is something that, we have proof has gone all the way back from the 80s that was hidden from us, that we don't have all of the bits and pieces of, and even if Bush was an idiot, it wasn't all his fault. It was something that has been there for decades that nobody has known and that just crashed upon us. Now, obviously that can't be fixed in one night. You can't just blink and say, our Savior, please fix everything. But at the same time, sometimes I adore him, and other times I feel like, now part of me understands this, but part of me also feels like he's kind of bowing, to the Republicans, bowing to the right. Yeah. And I get it. Like healthcare, for instance, they were not going to pass Obamacare. He had to change it and change it and change it constantly until it was something that they would finally put their stamp of approval on. I get that, but at the same time, there's that part of me is like, I feel like I wish you didn't give in so easily, that you made a better claim, that you did something more for the people. But then again, that's how politics is. It's this really big, huge game of strategy, and it's not about who cares about who. It's about who has more pieces in the game, who has the real power. It kind of makes me think of Game of Thrones. Yeah, there was the Baratheons at first. They were on the throne, but did they have any real power? No. Tywin Lannister had all the money. He had the real power. He was lending the money. And I don't think it's that far off from our own country. I don't think it's that far off from our world, our modern world, where Yeah, we might not be having medieval fights, but we have wars. Um, we have these big game changers with money and corporations and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying that in some aspects we need them, but at the same time, it's almost frightening the amount of things that we probably don't really know. Um, I'm not trying to go into conspiracy theory. I'm not trying to say I know deep structures. I'm innocent. Please don't come after me. All right. I'm just saying that I'm sure there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that we don't know. My whole point of going into this, wasn't to just like bash politicians or Obama or anybody, but just kind of just the irony of how idyllic I seemed in that first video, and just young and just like, oh, that'd be great. And now, on the cusp of 33, I guess I have a different view of life, which is where I'm going to next. Uh, Part of me wants to say past 4 years, and then another part of me wants to specify the past 2 years have been insanity. It started off with Hurricane Sandy. I've mentioned it before. My house was affected. Thankfully, it wasn't completely blown away, but we had water damage. The entire, crawl space was filled with water, and we had like about 14 inches of water within the home itself. Lost all of our furniture. At least the majority of our furniture. If I show you my room, minus the actual messiness there is, that's what my floor looks like now, because the floor tiles, like the linoleum or whatever you want to call it, is gone. And if you notice too, my bottom floor, they were all rotted out. Holes in the wall because we attempted a or Mormons came to my house and tried to attempt a remediation, which apparently if you take a box cutter and cut, not a good idea. So Mormons, thank you. It was very, very nice of you, but I wouldn't go into the business of remediation because, yeah. So, to make a long story short, we were told in our town we had to lift our house up at least about 4 to 6 feet. We've gotten several contractors and engineers who told us, because of the damage to the house and the structure of the house and the concrete slabs, yada yada yada, it would be far too expensive and far too dangerous to lift, and we would have to demolish and rebuild home. Obviously, we didn't get all of that money to do that, so now we're at the point 2 years later, or at least the last year or so, we've been trying to find a new home and move. Hasn't really been the easiest thing in the world. I mean, it sucks the way the house looks, not having furniture, the damage. My sinuses have been crazy, and I'm pretty positive it's some mold in the house. But again, since the house is not even worth anything, there's no point in remediating and spending like hundreds of dollars on remediation if it's just going to be demolished anyway. So, long story short, that was one big, huge thing that happened in my life. There's something else I'm not going to discuss because that's my private life. Excuse me. And the third thing, I lost my cousin this year. I haven't really spoken about this in such a way. She died in February of this year. It was kind of out of nowhere. It wasn't like she was sick for a while or anything of that sort. She had a couple of instances that same in that same time frame the past like 3 weeks or so where some strangers and she kept going to the emergency room. First time it was because she had a rash. She thought it was some kind of, allergic reaction to the medicine she was taking. And she wasn't taking like any crazy medication or anything. She was just taking medication. Just to clean it out. But February 15th, I think, she was not feeling well. Said she felt very hot. They were going to take her to the hospital. She collapsed. They ended up taking her to, they had to call it, obviously, an ambulance, take her to the emergency room. She had a stroke that night. And from that point on, she was kind of in the hospital on life support for a bit until we found she had no brain activity. And they had to take her off of it. She was 35. Just turned 30. So sorry, I just talked about that. I thought, we are very close. She was like my sister. When I was a kid, I just completely idolized her, like the coolest person that I ever knew in my entire life. And then we lost touch for a little bit. We ended up we were in the same grade school, but we ended up going to do 2 different high schools, because it's private Catholic school. It's expensive for me. And then somehow we reconnected as adults. We had the same kind of likes, Harry Potter, nerdy things. We'd go out to the city and do things. And she was like my sister. True. I'm trying to think here. It's like I always want to say so many things, but it just I don't know. She meant a lot to me. I loved her as my sister. The irony is the week she died was the week we were supposed to spend time together. She was off. I remember earlier that maybe like a month before I was mad at her because I hadn't heard from her in a while. And I was just kind of like, oh, she's gonna go off and do her things fine, whatever. I don't even give a shit. And then she texted me saying, she missed me. She wanted to see me. It's just kind of hard. It's like you think about you just kind of think about just like these little stupid things that I kind of like wish I apologized or like at least told her I loved her and like how much she meant to me. And every time I see little stupid things, I'm like, oh, she would love that, she did kick out that, and it's been 7 months now, and it's every day I think it might be easier, I'll think about her, and it goes right back to, it brings me back to day 1. Except day 1, I was a bigger mess than I thought I was going to be. I remember hearing the same day, my mom had to go to the hospital anyway because her hand was broken. I went to see her in the hospital and she was just she looked like she was there, but she was just sedated. So I just didn't wasn't, I thought, okay, they're gonna bring her out of it. And she'll probably be a little funny a little bit. Maybe she'll talk a little funny. Maybe half of her face or something will just be a little off from the stroke. And it's okay. And we'll get over it, and we're gonna go to the city, and we're gonna do all the things we planned. We're gonna go see the Avengers exhibit. I'm gonna wait for a day that her son was busy doing other activities, so me and her could have a girl day in the city, and go have brunch at the places we wanted to have brunch at that he never let us go to. We were gonna do all these little things, all these silly little things. And I kept thinking, like, okay, she'll make it through. And I had gone to work that Saturday morning, and I went to the same store. She bought me, for my birthday, she got me 2 different lanyards. She got me a cute, like, pink hearts one that her sister chose out for me, and then she got me another one. I remember, it was right before New York Comic Con was a big thing for me and her. We started it together, and we started camping together the first time. And we went to the first New York Comic Con. We loved it. It was awesome. It's amazing. We took her son, and we went the next year with her sister and her son. And so that year when we were going, it always falls around my birthday. It was the day before my birthday. So she said, okay, pick out your birthday present. So I picked out the color I wanted. She bought it. It was this pretty, like, bead, like, shiny thing. A jewel shiny thing. So that same place, they sold pens like that style. And her favorite color was green, because she always told me she wasn't into pink, purple, or any of that girly stuff. She wasn't into that. So I bought this green pen, and I kept thinking, she's gonna come out of it, and I'm gonna hand it to her, and be like, listen, you do something like that again, I'm gonna stab you this damn pen. And I kept thinking, so, because I bought this, she's gonna be okay, she's gonna make it, she's gonna be fine, we're gonna laugh about it, we're gonna tease her, and she's gonna be fine. And then that Sunday, I go to work, and then my cousin calls me, and basically tells me, he said, I'm not gonna baby you around, I'm not gonna treat you like you're a little kid, I'm gonna tell you straight off, she's not gonna make it, she's not doing well, she's not gonna make it. And I just didn't know how to react. I just kind of like shut down. I remember crying on the phone. I said, okay, alright. I'll come there after work. And I hung up. And then I'm sitting in front of my computer at work. And the funny thing is, I have a camera set up so that my colleagues can see me at work. And I didn't remember the camera set up. I was sitting just staring at the computer. Just staring, and this guy's trying to send me an instant message at the same time about something at work. I'm just staring, and it felt so numb. My coworker comes in, and I have like a bazillion thoughts running through my head. I always do, but at that time I had so many thoughts. And I knew I was thinking, and I thought I was processing normally, but I wasn't, because she looked at me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm just kind of like staring at my computer, just like, and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I told her, and I don't know if it was the realization hitting my head, or the words being said out loud that made me realize what's going on. I don't know what it was, but I just cried. I just broke down. And then she convinced me to leave work early. I left, and I thought I was gonna faint. I remember getting to the cab and just feeling numb, and just being like all over the place. And I had to buy like one of those anti-anxiety over the pill things. because I thought I was going to faint. I thought I was going to pass out. I just could not focus on anything. I was still numb. I was still trying to figure everything out. And I still am. I still am to this day. She was the one that kind of connected me the most with the family, her and my other cousin Joe. And it's hard to go over there. And every single time I go see her family, I expect her to pop out. I just expect her to pop out and just say something funny or just say something silly. Like, me and her were the two goofballs of the family. Like, they'd always make fun of the both of us. Even to her dying day, the joke was I was gonna have to deal with all the harassment by myself. Even when I look up stupid, scary ghost stories, I keep thinking of her. Just me and her sitting there reading stupid ghost story things or scary stories, and she'd be like, she loved those things. I just miss her. I know this is feeling a very, very long video now. I'm sorry. I just kind of needed to get it out. Because I think about it a lot. Especially when I drink. And I just need to talk about it somehow. I don't think it's gonna get it out. Don't. And I think that's one thing that people say, oh, well, you move on, and you do move on. You do. My life didn't stop. I didn't quit my job. I didn't just sit in bed all day and just do nothing. Life didn't stop, but she's always in my head, and whenever I think about her, I just feel like reality is just spinning out of control for me. And it's hard. It's really hard sometimes to just be like, well, she's somebody who used to know, and that's it, and I'm not going to talk to her anymore. I'm not going to see her. I can't text her. There's no way for me to speak to her at all. And there were other things that happened in my life that I wanted to tell her. And I had plans that week that we were going to spend together. I was going to tell her everything. Because I had kind of dropped hints that something was going on in my life and something was going on in her life that she wanted to talk about. And we both kind of had this thing where we were going to talk about it, but we saw each other. You know, because you can't talk about on the phone, you can't talk about on text, you can't talk about on Facebook. Certain things you have to talk about in person. I never got that chance. And never got that chance to tell her everything going on with me, and she was one of the closest people to me. She was that person that, like, every time I thought about getting married, I always knew that my maid of honor was going to be her. I always knew. No matter how many people came in my life and how many people left my life, she was going to always be my maid of honor. And that was the one thing. But, that was the last big thing in my life, other than, oh yeah, I got into a car crash, which is kind of tied into the big crazy thing that happened in my life, which I won't get into. And then I got a new car. Nice new car. Nissan Altima, 2014, very nice. And that's kind of it, sorta, about my life, I guess. I mean, this is already almost half an hour, and I've rambled enough. So, I'm gonna stop this now and post it, and please don't dislike this and hate me for rambling, because I don't do it that often anymore, okay? Bye.